of using text, I use a radio, and I don't have a placeholder for it because I don't need to write anything. It doesn't need to show me anything. Maybe enter your gender. I'll just need to click either male or female. And another question, sir, is that another question is, when we enter a site, if the gender is there, it will be two. So one will be male or female. So that's my other question, sir. So I got this. I styled it using the CSS. Now, when I styled it, okay, you made mention last week of a universal this thing. That's why I use this star. And the box ID should be in border box. Then I made and I called the label. I called the section. So now when I in my in the section, I made it a background color of black. So when I first run this code that day, because I just did some things on it. I wanted it to have a color. When I first run it, my name was not showing. The color was also in black. So this is why I used this. I called this child div and colored my text to be white. So when we look at this my code, when we look at this my form, all my writing is white because it was black initially. So that's why I called that way. So that's what I got, sir. And this evening I worked on this assignment. The next project you said we will do. So I just did some manipulation. I just did some rough listening about it, and I got something like this, sir.
Okay.
So that's what I have, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
happy about that, Peter. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much. Okay. So, Anjoy.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
Peter Alpha, can you see my screen?
I can see your
I
screen.
can see your screen. I can see your screen.
I can see your screen.
But sir, Eric is not connected to this call.
Yes, can you please just drop a message for him?
Okay.
Okay. But you can continue, Anjoy and Sheriff, please. Sheriff, please continue.
I'm continuing. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay, but you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you now. But I
Okay.
can't see your VS Code.
Yes, I started with the output just to show the result. Then I'm going back
I've
to
not
the
seen
code.
it. I've not seen the outing.
Ah,
Maybe you did not share it. Do you know what? Stop sharing and share entire screen. So when you are
okay.
changing it, then it should show up very well. Peter, please
Okay.
help me to call Eric that if he can join with his phone, that would be better. Let him join with his phone.
Okay.
Okay, entire screen. Okay, so can we all see it now?
No, I can't see the output. I can see your screen, but I can't see the. Okay, now
Yeah,
you're touching
this is
your VS Code. Yeah. Nice, fantastic.
okay.
Thank you so much. Okay.
So this is the output. This is what
Okay.
I did as the output.
Okay.
I just tried to copy the tax. That's register, apply to attend, and this. But this is the form. This is what I'm based on. So we have first name here with this red asterisk. Because I saw a red asterisk on the tax, so I had to do it that way, Sha.
Thank you.
So we have this. I saw that the first name, the tab there was short,
Thank you.
while the email address, the tabs there was long.
Yeah.
So I made it this way, but I was unable to make this last name to come to this side.
Okay.
So this is the output. Now let me go back to the code on how I did that. So this is the HTML code. I brought out the section for the form. I input it here, having a div class parent, which you taught us. Then now for the label, you used label 4, but I changed mine to label, having a class called I deem it required. Why I deem it required is this, so that whenever I go to the CSS file, I have a required section here. So this required here is telling us, using this after, is telling us that I want to input a content to the label.
Okay.
And the content here is an asterisk content, and the color should be red.
Okay.
So that was what gave us this red asterisk for the label.
Okay.
And though normally the asterisk should be at the right hand side, I'm still not sure why it's still at the down part of it and not at the right hand side of it. So, but that was the little I was able to grab there.
Okay.
So let me come back to my code. So I did that for all. And there's one more thing. In my output, for this tab to be shorter while this is longer, I have to change the code on my CSS. So which means I have two input form. I did one input form 1. This one is for first name and last name.
Okay.
Why this input form is for the others, email address, and so I had to change the width for first name and last name to 40 and leave the width for the others to 100. So that was why we have this tab longer and this tab shorter.
Okay. Thank you so
So
much.
for okay, that will.
No, continue. I'm gaining from you.
So for the CSS, I think that's all. I did the normal thing by background by changing the color for the outputs here. So that's just it for now. That's
Okay. Thank you so much. I really gained from you. Thank you so much. Anjorin, Peter, thank you so much. Eric said he want to show it from his phone. Are you connected with your phone now or your laptop, Eric? Or we'll continue? Eric, are you connected with your phone or your laptop now? Eric, can you hear me, Eric? Okay, so if you
I don't
go to
think
your
it's real.
he's here, but
Yeah.
his
He said
network.
he has a bad network, a very bad
Yes,
network.
yes,
Okay.
no problem. It's not a problem. So now I'm going to share my screen. So we need to finish what we started done also. So I'm going to share my VS code. So I'm going to look for the code. What was the title? Mm, I'm trying to look for it. Let me see. Is it voice 2? I'm just trying to look for the code. It's not this one. So is it assessment? No, it's not. Okay. Honestly, I don't know where I dropped the code. How do we locate it? Let's see. I'm trying to look for the code. Let's see. What's the name? What's the name? What name should I give it? What name should I give it? Okay, Dinos, can you send it to me through WhatsApp? The two codes, the CSS and everything. So I'll just use it. Are you with me? So I'll create a new window for it. Hello, Peter and this thing. Can you
We are
send my
with you,
code
sir.
to me? Please just send my code to
Okay,
me.
sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun,
Hello.
dun.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. So just join us.
Okay, sir.
Just join us. I'll just connect.
Okay.
Yeah, part two, web development. Part two. Okay, so okay, you have sent it right. So what I'll do is I'll just stop sharing. I'll stop presenting. I need to pick it up from my WhatsApp straight away. Okay, thank you so much. So I'll just go there. So it is. I'll just say day two. Okay, turn it to a folder. I go to my downloads.
I'm not able to, sir.
I'm just starting. I'm just starting again. Are you with me? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm not seeing you.
Yes, I'm going to share my screen now.
Yes, I'm here, but I'm not seeing it.
Yes, I'm going to share my
It's
screen.
not showing.
Yes, I'm going to share my screen again. Sorry about that. I just have to just arrange some things. So okay. So now what I did, I had to create another what do you call it? VS code for the project. So web development 2. Now there's day 2. I select the folder. So can you see? Once I select the folder, the form.css is here, the index.html is here. Now this one will be from tax. I'll just take tax. Let's say tax 2. Let's say tax 2. Let's say today tax is, let's say today for tax 2. Stand also. So once we have it, I save it, right? And I want open it with what live server to be sure that, oh,
Sir, I'm not.
can you see
I'm
my
not. I'm not seeing.
Peter? Can you see my screen?
I can see you,
Screen over
sir.
here, sir.
Yes, sir. Very well, sir.
Very well. So Eric, can you see my screen? Eric,
I guess it is network.
yeah.
That's why.
Thank God is being streamed live, so you can easily just go there and watch it out.
Yes, can watch it now on YouTube.
Mm.
I even shared the links to some of my
Mm.
people to watch and check.
Fantastic. Mm. Okay, now what I'm just concerned about is I want my VS code to be shown in the code. Let me see. Let me see. Des.html. See des.html. Nice d2.html. Slow motion. Okay, let me just create another one. Let me just call it D2. Web development D2. Okay. Okay, D2. The Explorer. This is the Chrome. Okay. With the browser. Okay, the Explorer. This WhatsApp. Okay. I pray it shows up. So if it's not showing, then I should be able to find a way to make sure it shows. Explorer D2. No. This is the AVG browser. This is it. Okay, then I think I need to be specific about my sharing. Stop presenting. Then I'll present only. Okay, a window. Yes, I'm presenting only this guy. This is show now. Thank you. So I'm presenting only this guy. So that was going to show. Get better in things. So then I go to OBS. Also, I'm presenting this guy. I think it should be the one that's going to show. So once I go back, it's going to show it. So now these are our code for today. So the aim is to reduce the first name and the last name. They should be inside a div. Is that also? So what will I do? Since I want to put them into what? A div. So I'll make it a div. Are you with me? And I'll pick this div. This is for what? First name. This is for what? Last name. So between the two of them, I'll put another div. Are you with me? So I'll put those two divs there. So in the first name and the last name, I'll put another div. Then I'll give it a class, right? I can say first name, last name, right? So with that, I know that this div takes the form for what? The first name and the last name. So since both of them, take note of this, since both of them are what? In a div inside another div. Now let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen in the output. Where's our output? Can you see? There's nothing that's mentioned. Like the two of them are just
We can't see your output, so only
okay.
the
Yes, I know why you're not seeing my output. Let me stop presenting. It's only the code you will see, right? So entire screen. So I wish I could share the entire window. Let me see this. This. Okay, so let me show you the output. Can you see the output now? It's the same thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So there was no any changes there. So it's just the same thing. So how will I change this output? Right? How will these changes be done? How will I change this thing that okay, it's not going to be showing what do you call it? The part for what do you call it? The first name and the last name should be together. So I made mention of what you call the block elements. Are you with me? The block elements. We have the first name, right? And we have the last name. Right? The first name and the last name. Now look at what is going to happen now. Now look at what is going to happen. The two of them, let's see what's going to happen to the both of them. Now I'm going to stop sharing. Right? I'm going to go back to my browser. I'm going to present the entire screen so you can see the browser, the results. Now, can you see the results? Now, it still look the same thing. Why? Because there's what they call the CSS that we use. That's form.css. Now, form.css. We use the label display grade. Now, what I'm going to comment this guy. Right? Since it's being commented, let's look at it again. Are you seeing something? Now, also, I'm going to take away what do they call it? Since we have our child is at margin bottom, the height, the width. I'm going to comment the width. Hey, sorry. How do you comment? We comment the width for the input form. So can you see it? So the first name, can you see the last name here? So
Sir.
two of them are on the same straight line, but the rest are what's scattered, right? So I know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna uncomment this guy. Let me see. Display label. Now let's see what's gonna happen. Can you see the magic? So because we have used what display grid, now I'm going to what reformat my code. I'm going to what reformat my code so that when I place them, then they will be able to work in the way I want them to work. So what am I talking about? Now, this is this class first name, last name. Now this div is taking both of them. Now you have what's label for what first name, you have the input, label for last name, you have the input. So I'm going to break them down into two parts, right? So how will I break them into two parts? I'm going to say, since I'm using label, I'm going to what take away what do you call it, the label for this, and try and modernize it, right? How will I modernize it? I will say label should not have the other codes again. Label should not have the other code again. So I will say I will create another class. Yeah, class. I'll just call it label grid. So label grid. So since it's label grid, I'll just take it away. Class label grid. Right? Class label grid. Class label grid. I'll move down here. So display grid, font size. So I'll just comment this one. So can you see it? Email is here. Enter your email. Age. Did I put it in age?
You put it at the header of the. It's not at the label section. Or
It's a mistake. Mabino.
okay.
Sorry. Then I'll put it in. So once it's saved, I'll go back there. Can you see email address, age, gender? So we already set them down. So now we now remain the first name and the last name. So you have to put them together on a straight line. So
Hello, sir. Hello,
yeah,
sir. Sorry, sir. I was not there. Is this the same project we did?
yes, I have modernized it.
Okay.
I have modernized
Okay.
part of the code. Sorry about that. Maybe your network.
Sir,
Yes.
I don't know why you. I was following. Yeah, I was following quite good, but Why did you now class that label grid?
Because I want to take away this label. I want to take away grid from it. Display grid.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So the grid now, the grid under will not affect the first divs, right?
Yes. It won't
Okay,
affect it.
okay, sir.
It will not. It will not. So I try to.
But I wanted to when I was doing that, there is one place that I had a lot of issue.
Okay. We
It's
already got the
very
result now.
difficult.
Can you see the results? Can you
Yes,
see the first
yes,
one?
yes.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
I'm
sir.
still not okay with it. So yeah, I'm still not okay with it. So I'm going to share my screen again. Stop presenting. I'm going to share the window. So can you see it? So this is it. So I did font size. I commented the width. I commented, right? Now I'm going to comment the width. Now just check it out. Can you see?
No, we can't see the output, sir.
Oh, sorry. Stop presenting. I'm going to present the entire screen. So this is it. Hey, sorry. Can you see it? First name is taking the truth. Last name is taking everything. Email address too. Can you see? H2 is taking everything. Why? Because we already gave the width to be what? 100%.
100. Okay.
So 100% means take everything. Now, I want to go to this place, right? So,
That width, sorry,
thank you.
sir. The width, since you said it's taking everything,
Yes.
is because we use input form for all of them.
Excellent. Yeah, in the
That's
spirit.
for
Yeah,
the first name and last name and the
thank
rest.
you. So I can now call this one input form 2.
Yeah, just like how I did mine as one.
Yeah. But there's other ways to do these things. I just want to make it very short and very interesting. We are still learning. We're just beginner stage.
Yes,
So
sir.
now, so the width, I can call it 40%, right? The height is there. The font size, let's leave it the same. Let's reduce it. Let's leave it 3 rem. So let's go back. So can you see it
Yes, sir.
now? So there's one thing they call media queries. I need you to start reading about media queries. So in the next class, we work on media queries. On this same form, media queries. Are you with me? So now
Yes,
enter
sir.
your last name, enter your first name. Now let's see why it says you read media query. Now look at this. Can you see how scattered it is? First name, last name.
Yes, sir.
So with media query, I'm going to make sure that the first name, the last name are not scattered. The first name and the last name are not scattered using media query. So that's the advantage of using media query. Are you with me? So now I'm going to increase the font size for first name and last name. Now I will go there. We have to increase the font size, right? So I'll just go there. Now the class label. We have label grid. We have label. Okay, yes. So the display will not be grid again. Take away the grid. Now we can use it. Now because of the the first name, the last name is taking what? A bigger font size. So the other input has to go to the next line. Are you with me?
Okay. Yes,
So
sir.
if you reduce the size, you will get them to be on the same line. But there are ways that you're going to do it whereby the inputs must be 100% and it will not go out of that place. It will move out of this line. So that's another form of coding we're going to do. So I told you should start reading about CSS grid. So with CSS grid, you know how to do all these placing and it will not get away from it. First name will be in this place, last name will be in this place, email address will be in this place, age will be in this place, gender will be in this place. Are you with me? But because we are just starting, right? So we're going to reduce it. So why are we reducing it? Now we're going to reduce it to what? 30%. Right? You see, it's still what's not ready for us. So we reduce it to 20%. Oh, it looks ready for us. It looks ready. Now, since we reduce the 20%, now the font size, we have to reduce it. Definitely. It's done also. So I can say 1.54 rem. Now, one thing about using rem, read about units in programming. One thing about using rem, it gives you the flexibility of using decimal with it. They call it floating point numbers. Can you see? Same goes for this guy. This width for this, same goes for it. So same way goes for it. So with that, I can say, okay, this has been done to some extent, although I'm not okay with it. Right? Next, we want to put the asterisk. Is that also? Right? So easily, right? There's one thing they call span in programming. Are you with me? Span asterisk. So use span, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. Are you with me? So I can give it a class, right? Class, I'll just call it asterisk. So it was color red. Is that also? Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thompson, are you here? Is Thompson here? So I can give it a color red.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So let's check it out. Let's see what we have. Oh, red. But the red is very big. Can you see? Just a span, and I get everything as what? Red. But to me, the red is too big. It's too big. So now we're going to work on this gender. Let's work on this gender and let's add a button. I hope I'm not fast.
No, sir.
So,
It's true, sir.
okay,
Sir,
thanks.
no, sir. No, sir.
Okay, so now for this gender, so we'll just take it like this. So we're going to create, we want to be in a different method. So I can say a span, right? A span for it is another span for it, right? I can give it a class. I call it gender, right? Gender names, gender let's say gender list. Is that also gender list, right? With this gender, I might just put it at the front. Okay, after the button, I might just put a span, or I can say male, right? I can say female, right? And I can say prefer not to say. Prefer not to say. Prefer not to say. Right? So I'll check it out. Can you see? Male. Don't know this thing. See, female. Prefer not to sell. Now take note of this. You are clicking male, you are clicking female, you are clicking prefer not to say. The three of them are just showing up. So there's something you have to do when you are coding that will make it different, right? Give it a name. They must have the same name, right? I can give them the same name, gender. Right? Gender. So now look at what is going to happen. Now when I click on prefer not to say, then I click on female. Can you see?
Sorry, sir. What is
Wow.
What do you say?
ID? You don't add ID to it. Will it have any effect?
If you add an ID to it, let's see what's going to happen. But I know that the rule says
If,
that
if you don't
ID
have an ID,
is not, see, it will not have any, so it will not have any, what do you call it, any strange effect. If you add an ID to it, will not have any strange effects now. So right, sit, sit. Can you see? So the rule says that they must have the same what attributes called name. So if you make a little bit of changes to it, to that attribute value, you won't get the same results. Are you with me? So
yes,
now
sir.
I want to expand it. Easily, I can just pick up what do you call it, this attribute called what gender, and I want to expand it. I want to expand the gender, male, female, input type, this. But there's another way to write CSS attributes. For any time you see input type radio, I want this to be done. So because I've already what do you call it, worked on what my label, right? Having what the same font size, right? So what will I do? I'll just say, okay, since my label is having the same font size, right? I can easily what make changes to this, adding this now. I'll say input, right? Type, right? Equal to, I'm not sure I'm right. I'm not sure I'm right. What radio? I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's going to work. So it has not worked. So maybe I'm missing something. So now we'll check it out. Let me see. Input type radio CSS. So it's input type radio, right? Oh, it's not working. Okay, for label input, let me just check it out. Input type radio CSS. Just hold on. Okay. Okay, you just take it like this. This is gonna work. Okay. Then if it's not working, then okay, yes. Oh, funny me. Now these things are outside, so I need to put them inside. I'll create a span for each and every one of them. Sorry about that. Right? So this is span. Just watch this. So male, female, prefer not to say. Okay, let's watch it. Male. So I can just give it a span. I'll just span class. Okay, you're talking about ID. Let me use ID now. But ID is unique. So I can say, okay, gender. So this class gender. So now what I'll do is I'll just comma full stop. So I think it should work now. Voila. So this guy, I didn't need this guy. Why? Because it was going outside of the context. That's why when you're coding, you don't cram. When you're coding, you just go with the flow. So now this is the diff for this. The next is the diff for the button. Easily, I can put my button just down here, right? And just say, okay, this is my button. So I'll just say button. I'll just say process. Is that not so? Then I'll give it class. I'll just say process. So this is process. So since it's process, I might want to increase the button. I might want to place it at the center. I'll just say place, and say item center. Right? I might say the color, right, is yellow. I might give it a background color of blue, right? I'll save it. Now can you see it? Now it's not going to the center. Why? Because there's a div for it, right? There's a div for it that is the place at the center. So this is the child. I will just create another button. I'll just say btn, right? Process. Btn process. I'll just go down there, right? I'll just say place item center, right? Let's see how it's gonna move. Did not move. So let's do place content. Sometimes is always kind of funny. Center. Oh, it's not moving. So maybe we'll do that one. That'll be in the next class. We'll do a little research about it, or just maybe just one or two things that is making it not to move. Okay, because of time. So I'll just give it a font size. Okay, a width. I increase the width to, let's say, 4M. Let's see how it's going to look like. Hey, sorry. The button, a width of 4M. Let me see, place content center. Let's see, width of 4M. Is this guy working? It's process. process. Form.css. Oh, let's use input. Let me see, input type button. The class process. This is gonna work. Okay, that's good. Input type button. The class is process. You give it a value called process. Input type button. Give it a value called process. Okay, now we are good. So if I now work on this, the same input type that I was trying, input type is equal to button. So then I can give it a width. Okay, let me say 7 rem. Okay, and height. Let me get 6 rem. Voila. Can we see it? Guys, are you too?
Yes, sir.
So now next week we're going to place it to the center. But if the background color is black, is that also? Let's give it a background color of black, right? So it's just a one line of code. Everything is on the body, right?
Yes, sir.
So you just go to your body. You can just say my body, right? Give it a background color. I'll not use black. I will use gray. I don't want it to be so black. I want there should be some little bit of, can you see, lightness there. So I'm going to show the code again so that those that want to watch it and view it, they will see the code, and then we'll call it a day. And I'll send the code to you. And it looks
Is there any project for us that we can work on?
yes, I'm going to give you a project very soon. Now, I already gave you some things to read about. So I want you guys to practice this, go through it. This is the code, right? So this is how the code is. And put comments to it so that next time when we meet, it's more better than this. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So we were able to work on form. Please read about HTML attributes. Read about CSS, types of CSS. You know, there are 3 kinds of CSS: the internal, inline, the external. Now, there are kind of CSS selector. There's what? The element selector. There's the class selector. There's what? ID selector, right? There's the attribute selector. So there are different, there's what they call some descendants, right? Descendant selector. So there are different kind of selector. Are you with me? Then you now read about the hierarchies. Hierarchies. I want you to watch the video again, so that's I'm seeing it. The hierarchies. What are the hierarchies for each CSS selectors? Read about them, right? So I wish you a success. And during your week, can you see the assignment I've given you? Yes. And I want you to read about last about CSS grid. So when I'm starting next class, just tell me, sir, we are starting with CSS grid, right? Starting with CSS grid. Are you with me? Thank
Okay,
you so
sir.
much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and have a great time and enjoy yourself. Okay, bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye, sir.